Protesters blocked both lanes of I-43 this afternoon, causing a major traffic blockade in downtown Milwaukee. They abandoned their cars in the north and southbound lanes and then formed a human chain across the entire freeway.
And our cameras were rolling as a female protester was taken into custody on McKinley. This was after she left that blockade on 43. We're told more than 60 people have been arrested tonight.
Let's take a live look from Chopper 4 right now. And on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see southbound traffic on I-43 is moving slowly through that area. But on the right-hand side of your screen, there are a number of police cars still on the scene and a number of people who have been arrested. This is basically the ramp from McKinley to southbound 43. Protesters who left the freeway eventually moved onto that entrance ramp, and they are now being taken into custody.
And as you mentioned, traffic still being affected. We're hearing backed up for more than 3 miles in this area. These protesters are upset. There's been no decision by the district attorney on whether to charge the now former officer who killed Dontre Hamilton. And we have team coverage for you tonight. Steve Shamrez and Julia Fellow are along I-43 where protesters blocked traffic earlier tonight.
But we begin with LACEY Crisp. She is live at the Police Administration Building where protesters are gathering right now. LACEY.
Yeah, as you can see behind me, about 50 or 75 protesters are behind me right in front of the Police Administration Building. With them, Nate and Maria Hamilton. I got a chance just a couple of minutes ago to speak with Nate Hamilton, and he tells me that they are going to stay out here as long as it takes to get those. He tells me about 100 protesters who were arrested. He was very frustrated tonight when I spoke with him. Normally, he's very calm, but he said that he was upset that protesters were arrested. He said they weren't given notice by anyone that they were going to be arrested. Of course, Sheriff Clark in the past has said if they enter the freeways, they will be arrested. But Nate Hamilton, I asked him tonight, I said, you know, has your patience waned? And he said they know it has. It's been 8 months. They want a decision. So they said they will continue having these rallies until there is a decision. Now, they've been chanting out here that they were able to shut down the freeway system for 32 minutes. They said they are going to stand up for those who were arrested tonight. They have been chanting Black Lives Matter, arrest Chris Manney. And as you can see around, there are police officers standing inside the Police Administration Building. There are patrol cars lining State Street, lining the roads here. They were standing across the street watching the protesters. Now, so far, this has been very peaceful. Aside from being disruptive, Nate Hamilton wanted to make that apparent that this has been peaceful. He understands it has been disruptive, but he says they need to get their point across, but they have done so in a peaceful manner. But we will stay out here as long as they are out here. Nate Hamilton tells me that they'll be out here until all of those who were arrested, taken into custody, are released. Reporting live from the Police Administration Building, LACEY Crisp, today's TMJ4.
All right, LACEY, thank you. We're also hearing, though, that those protesters are not going to be processed there at the Police Administration Building. That from Milwaukee Police, so we're not sure where exactly that's happening, but we'll see how that shakes down. Let's now go to Julia Fellow and Steve Shamrez. They're live along I-43.
Yeah, Steve talked with Dontre Hamilton's brother about the change in the strategy. Steve, take it away.
Mike and Courtney, let's bring you up to speed on what's happening right now. The McKinley on-ramp to I-43 is still closed. The only thing that's left, though, are a couple Milwaukee police squad cars blocking the ramps. I was told the plan is they're going to open the north and the southbound ramps at the same time, so they're still keeping these closed off right now. They're going to wait till they're all mopped up down here, and then everything will reopen. Earlier, there was a Milwaukee County Sheriff's mobile jail on that ramp right there, hauling some of those 60-odd people away who made their way onto the freeway and were arrested by either sheriff's deputies or Milwaukee police. We're going to have to sort that out as the night goes on. Among the people who were walking off the freeway when we were here about 90 minutes ago was Maria Hamilton, the mother of Dontre Hamilton, and Nate Hamilton, the brother. We spoke with Nate Hamilton as they were coming off. Let's take a listen to that conversation. Well, I want to know why you would do this after you had a positive news conference with the mayor yesterday, Nate.
Justice.
Why
do the police department do something like this and then go back into the streets? Why do they kill a man and then get to go back into the streets? Answer that question, then I answer yours.
Nate, your attorney said this protest today was going to be much like what we've seen in the past. This is nothing like what we've seen in the past.
What you've seen in the past is Coalition for Justice being disruptive, and whether it's City Hall, whether it's taken to the streets, we still doing the same thing we always been doing: awareness and disruption. So it's nothing new. There's nothing violent about what we're doing. So you can leave the violence at your house, because we not violent. We peaceful, maybe a little disruptive.
Come here.
What is y'all doing?
What are y'all doing?
And as our conversation ended with Nate Hamilton, a woman was taken into custody, I'm told, by a captain here on the scene because she was among the group refusing to get back on the sidewalk and off of the highway. We're still waiting to get more information about Milwaukee, about what happened. That Milwaukee police did take her into custody. A little context about what Nate and I were talking about. You'll recall just yesterday, Nate Hamilton was standing in City Hall with Mayor Barrett announcing a very positive outcome from the months of protests we have seen. Every Milwaukee police officer will now get this critical incident training that will help them better handle incidents like what happened between Officer Chris Manney and Dontre Hamilton in Red Arrow Park in late April. It's a very positive outcome to what has been transpiring over the past couple of months with the Hamilton family and the Coalition for Justice. The next day, the Hamilton family is shutting down the freeway system. So it's two very different responses from Nate Hamilton. He was at a very good moment, showing great progress made with the mayor yesterday. Today, they shut down traffic. 60 people were arrested. I also mentioned in my conversation there that Jonathan Safran, the attorney for the Hamilton family, was on News Radio 620 earlier this afternoon telling them that this protest was going to be run-of-the-mill, like everything we've seen before. As we can see, this is the first protest where anyone has been arrested, let alone 60 people. This is nothing like what we've seen before. Live in downtown Milwaukee, Steve Shamraz, today's TMJ4.
All right, thank you, Steve. Right now, we want to go to a live picture from Chopper 4, and what you see right there on the left-hand side of your screen is a Milwaukee County Transit bus, we believe. That has been brought in, and police are escorting the protesters that they arrested onto that bus, where they will be transported down for booking, presumably. Earlier in the afternoon, on the northbound entrance ramp from McKinley to northbound 43, the sheriff's mobile jail was being used to house these prisoners after taken into custody. That was full, and so now they brought in a bus, and the people who were arrested while closing down the ramp there basically were sitting in handcuffs along the side of the ramp until this bus could arrive, and now police have one by one escorted them into the bus, where they'll be taken either to the city jail or perhaps to the county jail.
And this gives us, it supports the numbers, really. We're hearing anywhere between 60 and 100. Now we're hearing more on the 100 arrest side. From what transpired this evening on the interstate system. Right now we want to check in with Julia Fellow. She is live at I-43 and the Walnut Street overpass. Julia.
That's right. We're in the thick of this rush hour traffic going on right now at this hour. Still, I-43 southbound, if you take a look behind me, is at a snail's pace. You can see all of those blue and red lights towards the end there. They're still taking care of a big mess that still happened. We've been here at the Walnut overpass, and I witnessed those protesters get out of their cars, begin blocking traffic. We have video from Chopper 4 earlier when that happened. It was a scary situation to witness. People caught in this traffic were laying on their horns, did not know what was going on, and it caused police to scramble to the scene. Everything got back open quickly, but as you can see, this was very highly coordinated. I spoke to one of the organizers, the African American Roundtable from Milwaukee. He tells me as they were packing their cars right as this took place, many of those organizers, I tried to speak to them, asking them what was going on. Why are you getting in your cars? You plan to use all these signs?
I should hope so, hon. I hope so.
And you told me your plan is mass disruption. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think that you know, the phrase that I'm gonna say is that sometimes a minor inconvenience is due to the fact that there's a major injustice, and that's all I'll say.
And now we all know exactly what that minor inconvenience was. It's still happening for many of these people stuck in this rush hour traffic. It seems like this mess won't be cleaned up for some time. I'm also told that those protesters, I could actually hear them myself, they were screaming Black Lives Matter, and they were doing this for the justice of Dontre Hamilton's family. We're at rush hour right now. People are still trying to get home. As soon as I see more, I will bring it back to you. But for now, reporting live, Julia Fellow, today's TMJ4.
All right, Julia, thank you. We want to take a live look about that traffic backup that Julia has been talking about. Still for about 3 miles, we're hearing, in the southbound lanes of 43.
Yeah, the bus that was transporting the protesters just left the scene about 10 seconds before we came out to this picture. So what you are seeing now is traffic moving from left to right. This is southbound traffic on I-43, which is starting to slowly return to not exactly normal, because as Chopper 4 pulls out and eventually takes a look a little farther to the north, you will see a huge backlog that goes back. We're not sure how far back it goes, but we believe it is a couple of miles. You can imagine when there's just an accident and a squad car off to the side of the road, how slow traffic gets. With this mess, everybody is slowing down. I want to mention a couple of things here. Milwaukee police put out a tweet this afternoon saying, quote, "Disappointed our continued efforts to work with Hamilton family to ensure safe demonstrations went ignored, requiring law enforcement action." So obviously MPD saying blocking the freeways will not be facilitated. When protests block city streets, traffic can move easily by being redirected to ensure safety.
Which is how we've seen these protests happen
Yes.
before on city streets. Protesters have not yet until today gone onto the interstate system.
The other thing that's worth noting here is it is not clear exactly who is involved in this protest. And I say this because the sheriff put out a mailing earlier saying several anarchist groups led by outside protesters are gathering to cause disruption activities. He said those leftist groups use the tactic of hiding among legitimate peaceful protesters to conduct their illegitimate campaign. So basically the sheriff is saying he thinks there are outsiders who have come in and sort of hijacked the Dontre Hamilton protest. It's not clear again who is fully responsible for today's freeway shutdown.
Let's go back to LACEY Krish, who's at the Police Administration Building, and she has Nate Hamilton with her and also the family's attorney tonight. LACEY?
Yeah, we're joined here by Nate Hamilton and Jonathan Safran. Can you kind of explain to me the decision to leave Red Arrow Park and to kind of head out to the freeways, as you said, peaceful but disruptive?
I think right now we're at a point of community is at a point of frustration. We all are disappointed in how long this is taking. So, like, all we've been wanting, not just in Dontre's case, but previous cases, is to be heard and for the respect to be given. And in order for that to happen, sometimes we have to be a little disruptive to allow them to know that this community is serious. Like, we're serious about injustice. We don't want these type of things to continue to happen. So we have to continue to make efforts to show them that, hey, we do not want our people killed. We want you guys to prosecute these people to the full extent of the law. It shouldn't take 8 months. I keep saying if it was a regular person, you should say, they would be prosecuted. They would have all the evidence. They probably wouldn't even have enough evidence, but they would put them through the process of the judicial system.
And I know yesterday your family was so happy to announce with the mayor that the grant had been put in place for the training that your family has been asking for 8 months now.
Yeah, and that's two separate issues. We fight for injustice and we fight for system reform. So the Hamilton family is fighting for system reform. The Coalition for Justice is fighting for justice. I'm a co-founder of the Coalition for Justice, and in our efforts, I don't want people to think that the family is still not a family to believe in, because we're always going to be a family of love and caring and giving. But at this time, we need the city to be that too. We need them to understand that it's been too long. It really has.
And Mr. Safran, if I can ask you, I know you've been in communication with the district attorney's office. Have they given you any indication what a possible timeline may be?
They've indicated that they're going to contact me when the decision is made. I would hope it's going to be possibly sometime next week. I do not anticipate that it's going to be, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. Whether it's going to be earlier in the week next week, that is our hope. I don't have a timeline that they've given me, but that's what our expectation is. That's what we're kind of hoping for. That's what the family's hoping for. That's what we believe, but I don't have any further timeline right now.
And Nate, if I can ask you how long you guys plan on being out here. It is cold, but I know you guys are standing up for something you truly believe in.
Right, and you know, we were given an option by the deputy at the top of the entrance ramp to the freeway, and he said if you guys don't move, you guys will be arrested. As we started leaving, the Milwaukee Police Department pulled up, and I guess they had other assignments, and that was to arrest people. So they arrested a group, and they allowed some of the group to continuously move. But then they told the back of the group to move to the sidewalk. The front of the group didn't hear that. So they ran to the front of the group and they just started arresting more people. So, you know, the communication was improper. The sheriff department, you know, we were under the impression that, hey, we got a warning. We took that warning not lightly but seriously, and we started moving back and getting off the on-ramp. And then they just started coming out and jumping on us. They you know, tackled a couple people, even myself. So it's to the point now that they're actually living up to what we've been saying they were, unreasonable.
So your plan is to stay out here until those who have been taken into custody are released?
Correct. Those are people that work hard in the community to make sure that other community members have a real fight, a real truth to what's being done in the community. So them are community members. Them are the people that helps build this city, helps mold this city. So we're not going to turn our back on them. We're going to stay here to their release. We're going to raise funds to their release. We can get you the information where people can go and donate money to help people get out. But we want to continuously take care of our community that stands up for injustice. You know, the system has to change. It has to change, and the people are saying that enough is enough.
LACEY, would you please ask Attorney
LACEY,
would you please ask Attorney Chafron if he supports and condones the shutting down of the freeway at 4:20 this afternoon?
And Mike Jacobs is asking if you condone or approve the shutting down of their freeway for 32 minutes during the height of rush hour traffic this afternoon.
I do not. I have no problem with some civil disobedience, and I appreciate that the family and their supporters are trying to make a point and want there to be justice. Certainly don't condone any type of violence. I don't condone the freeway being shut down. I think people should stay off the freeway. I think that's too dangerous. I've indicated that to the family, and others can't control what everybody does, but certainly I've advised the family that's not something they should do.
And LACEY, a follow-up question here. The sheriff has suggested that there are outside groups that have basically infiltrated this effort by the Hamilton family. Can John Safran shed any light on that? Are there outsiders who've come in and tried to hijack what the Hamilton family has done?
Sure, and a question to both of you. I know these protests have been peaceful, but we've been hearing from law enforcement that a lot of outside groups from out of state, from out of the area have come in with their own reasons for being here. Do either of you know about anything about that?
I do not. I've asked, I've been told those things. I've heard all kinds of rumors in the last day or so. I don't know what's true. We can't control, and the family can't control, obviously, what others do. But I know, and I'm sure Nate is going to repeat this, he and the family don't want any violence. We certainly don't condone any violence. Peaceful protest is one thing. That's all we ask. The family obviously wants justice. They want to have a decision. I think that's what they're asking for.
So,
all right, thank you very much, LACEY, and John Safran and Nate Hamilton as well. We want to just mention another thing here. There's been some suggestion that the protesters were not given advance notice that there would be arrests. The MPD put out a tweet just a moment ago saying, you know, we don't have to notify anybody in advance. If you're going to walk on the freeway, there's a good chance you're going to be arrested. Prior notification is absolutely not required, according to MPD.
Yeah,
just to
no
clarify
notice
that.
needs to be provided prior to arrest.
All right, let's go to Chopper 4 right now. We've got a picture outside the police administration building, and LACEY was on the scene down there. You can see the protesters marching. This is police headquarters. That's basically on the right-hand side is State Street, and they're right out in front of the police administration building, and that's where the marchers and the demonstrations have moved, having left the McKinley Avenue to I-43 area where they tied up traffic a while back.
And we are taking a quick break. We're back after this.